They a lot.
Microphones around.
Yeah.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. Would you please stand for the pledge of allegiance? Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have a moment of silence. I've actually had 2 friends die in the last week. And asking for a moment of silence for all. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we take public hearing and move it to the end so that we can fly through all this work.
Sounds like a great idea.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing?
Public hearing. Did I say?
Public forum.
Public forum.
I knew what you meant though.
Big motion to move public forum to the end, please.
Second.
And again, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, the first item is a continuation, no, first item is, it was a request from the family court for us to, consider a resolution declaring November as Family Court Awareness Month. And so,
President, move to approve 1 and 2.
Second.
all those in favor?
Any discussion?
Would you like,
Just the ad hoc.
yes, okay, what about the ad hoc?
Just pulling it up here. Thought it was gonna be the chairs of each individual council, economic development, board.
That's
Those
the
people.
version I saw, I didn't look at it, has it changed?
And it says consist of 1 member of the town council. Member of the ABC.
No, that's the old version.
It-
Yeah, that was revised.
I don't know.
The other one on clerk spaces.
I only have the one. Aaron sent me.
Yeah, this is the old one. This is the current one.
Can we
Oh,
get,
the one is faster than minutes. Is it, I mean, so
When I sent it back to Mark for his approval, I thought that I copied Aaron on it, but it's possible that I didn't. I just didn't. If you want,
I'm looking just right now, let me just, no,
you can continue it to the next agenda if you want to.
oh, I do, I apologize, I do have, that came Saturday.
Saturday.
President, I want to amend my motion, Second.
second,
I want to make a new motion to approve resolution 1 and resolution 2 forwarded to this meeting.
Sam would have to rescind her second for you to rescind your first motion. And my second. Okay,
okay. So any discussion before we,
Somebody second my motion.
I thought,
second,
You second.
we're approving 1,
and moving,
Number 2 to the next council meeting.
those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I move to open public hearing for a Class A package store retail liquor licenses.
You have to read every single one of them.
Tony Albino, Cello LLC, DBA Richmond Wine and Liquors.
Yeah,
this would be also for NRP Inc. do business in a Wyoming package.
Yeah, I thought that was the same one.
Yeah, Mr. President,
Yes,
we just have to read the whole thing. I
You have to
think,
read
for
the whole
for the
thing,
record.
that's.
Okay, the second one, NRP Inc., DBA Wyoming Package Store. Motion to approve Cello LLC, DBA Richmond Wine and Liquors, 5 Stilton Road. Motion to approve the complete application for a Class A retail liquor license.
Motions come after the public hearing. You're opening the public hearing, right?
For the,
Yeah,
Okay, so
That's
each-
okay.
for the class,
right.
Mr. President,
so we
we can
had,
just go down the line and do like
Right.
one at a time or something.
so
Can
you
we-
open. the
I
public
think
hearing,
we,
and then-
first we need to have a motion and a second to open the public hearing,
Mr.
so,
President,
yes.
motion to open public hearing for Class A package store retail liquor licenses. Tony Albano, Cello LLC, DBA Richmond Wine and Liquors located at 5 Stilson Road and RP Inc., DBA Wyoming Package Store located at 1199 Main Street.
Second,
Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
right,
Okay. Are there fees and requirements all up to date?
So as you see, the latest draft, Wyoming package store is a complete application, so I have reference to separate motions. But should the public have any questions, we should close the public hearing first. However, Richmond Wine and Liquors does have some contingent items that I've listed out, so that would have to be 2 separate motions.
Mr. President,
Yes,
hearing no public comment, motion to close public hearing for Class A package store retail liquor licenses, Tony Albano, Cello LLC, DBA Richmond Wine and Liquors located at 5 Stilson Road, and NRP Inc., DBA Wyoming Package Store located at 1199 Main Street.
second,
all those in favor?
aye,
aye.
Aye.
Mr. President, motion to approve Class A retail liquor license, Cello LLC DBA Richmond Wine and Liquors located at 5 Stilson Road, subject to fire inspection, approval of local taxes, state taxes, stop certificates, and license fees.
second,
And we are good on that, you said.
Those are the outstanding items.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, Mr. President,
Yes,
motion to approve the complete application for a Class A retail liquor license of NRP Inc., DBA Wyoming Package Store located at 1199 Main Street.
second,
all those in favor?
aye,
Aye.
Aye.
President, motion to open public hearing for a Class BL Victualler Alcost LLC DBA Town Pizza 2 located at 18 Kingstown Road.
Second.
second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
aye,
Great.
Mr. President, motion to close public hearing for Class BL Victualler Alcost LLC DBA Town Pizza 2 located at 18 Kingstown Road.
Second.
All those in favor?
aye,
Aye,
Aye.
Mr. President,
yes,
motion to approve the complete application for Class BL Victualler of Almost LLC DBA Town Pizza 2 located at 18 Kingstown Road.
all those in favor?
aye,
Aye.
All right, Mr. President.
ahead,
Mr. President, I'd like to just hold Pasquale Garden Center located at 421 Kingstown Road for this,
Okay,
please.
Okay.
That's it.
Mr. President.
Yeah.
Motion to open public hearing for Class B Victualler Dragon Palace, Inc., DBA Dragon Palace located at 1210 Main Street. Young Lao Inc., DBA Bali Village Restaurant located at 1172 Main Street. Richmond Country Club located at 74 Sandy Pond Road. Meadowbrook Properties LLC, DBA Meadowbrook Golf Course located at 163 Kingstown Road. Richmond Smoke LLC, DBA Richmond Smoke located at 1219 Main Street. Why are they missing? Oh. Wood River Bar and Grill located at 1139 Main Street. Filippo's Twisted Pizza located at 1203 Main Street. Rhodes Food LLC, DBA Alana's Coffee House and Block and Roll located at 93 Kingstown Road. Clover Hospitality LLC, DBA Lena's Ale House located at 343 Kingstown Road, Pinecrest Golf Course, Inc., DBA Pinecrest Golf Course located at 25 Pinehurst Drive. It's in that one. Preserve Management LLC, DBA The Preserve White Birch Cafe located at 2 Bumblebee Lane, and the Preserve Management LLC, DBA The Preserve Double Barrel Kitchen located at 87 Kingstown Road.
Second.
All those in favor?
I
Aye.
Want to drink?
want to read that. I have to read. Pascal Farms. If they're open.
We have to close the other one.
That was easy.
Yep.
Hey, any public
Mr.
comment?
President,
They're gonna let the full Pascal
You
Farms.
should probably ask the public if they have.
Right, do you have any, is there anyone who has any public comment on all of any of these businesses
you
and their
dear,
license?
you dear. All that.
That being said, I will
Motion to close public hearing. Class B, titular.
second.
Read the whole thing
You
again.
have to read the whole thing again.
All right, here we go. Dragon Palace Inc., DBA Dragon Palace located at 1210 Main Street, Young Low Incorporated, DBA Bali Village Restaurant located 1172 Main Street, Richmond Country Club located at 74 Sandy Pond Road, Meadowbrook Properties LLC, DBA Meadowbrook Golf Course located at 163 Kingstown Road, Richmond Smoke LLC, DBA Richmond Smoke located at 1219 Main Street, Wood River Bar and Grill located 1139 Main Street, Filipanos Twisted Pizza located at 1203 Main Street, Road Foods LLC, DBA Alana's Coffee House and Walk and Roll located at 93 Kingstown Road, Glover Hospitality LLC, DBA Alana's Ale House located at 343 Kingstown Road, Pinecrest Golf Course Incorporated, DBA Pinecrest Golf Course located at 25 Pinecrest Drive, Pascal Farm Gardens Center located at 421 Kingstown.
That one's not it.
That one's submitted, okay? Preserve Management LLC, DBA The Preserve White Birch Cafe located at 2 Bumblebee Lane, and Preserve Management LLC, DBA The Preserve Double Barrel Kitchen located at 87 Kingstown Road.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Mr. President,
Yes.
should I open and close Pascal now? Okay. Motion to open public hearing for Class B victualler for Pascal Farms Garden Center located at 412 Kingstown Road.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Recuse.
Aye.
Any public comment on Pascal Farms? Going once, twice.
Mr.
Okay.
President, make a motion to approve the complete application for,
Gotta close public hearing, so.
Yeah.
excuse me, close public hearing.
Pascal Farms. you have to read
Pascal
the whole-
Farms.
You have to read the whole.
You have to read it also. Mr. Motion to close public hearing for Class B victualler Pascal Farms Garden Center located at 421 Kingstown Road.
Second.
All right. How do you vote?
Aye.
Recuse.
Aye.
Awesome.
Go ahead, you do the next one.
Mr. President,
Go ahead.
motion to approve the complete applications for Class B victualler license of Dragon Palace Inc., DBA Dragon Palace located at 1210 Main Street. Young Lao Inc., DBA Valley Village Restaurant located at 1172 Main Street. Richmond Country Club located at 74 Sandy Pond Road, Meadowbrook Properties LLC, DBA Meadowbrook Golf Course located at 163 Kingstown Road.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 President. Make a motion to approve. Class B, vitrilling license application subject to payment of license fees for Richmond Smoke LLC, DBA Richmond Smoke located at 1219 Main Street, Wood River Bar and Grill located at 1139 Main Street, and Filippo's Twisted Pizza located at 1203 Main Street.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Better than I thought.
All right. Mr. President,
Yes, ma'am.
motion to approve Class B victual applications subject to stop certificate, state taxes, fire inspection, and payment of license and fees for Road Foods LLC, DBA Alana's Coffee House and Guac and Roll located at 93 Kingstown Road.
second,
Clover Hospitality LLC DBA Alana's Ale House located at 343 Kingstown Road.
second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Mr. President, need to approve Basketball Farm Center located at 421 Kingstown Road.
Mr. President,
Yes.
motion to approve the Class B victual application subject to fire inspection for Pinecrest Golf Course Inc. DBA Pinecrest Golf Course located at 25 Pinehurst.
second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Mr. President, move to approve Class B victualling license for Pascal Farms Garden Center located at 421 Kingstown Road.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Recuse?
Should that one be subject, sorry, to the same fire inspection?
Yes.
yes,
All right, just making sure it's on the record. Aye.
Awesome.
President, motion to approve the Class B victualling application subject to payment of local taxes for Preserve Management LLC DBA The Preserve White Birch Cafe located at 2 Bumblebee Lane and Preserve Management LLC DBA The Preserve Double Barrel Kitchen located at 87 Kingstown Road.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Aye. Mr. President, motion to approve public hearing, open public hearing for victualling additional hours license. Castback LLC DBA McDonald's, 12 Kingstown Road, Wyoming Donuts Inc. DBA Dunkin' Donuts, 1214 Main Street, Rich Donuts Inc. DBA Dunkin' Donuts, 26 Kingstown Road, Beaver River Donuts Inc. DBA Dunkin' Donuts, 418 Kingstown Road, Cumberland Farms Inc. DBA Cumberland Farms at 1254, number 1254, 1175 Main Street, Richmond Gas and Convenience Inc. Global Montello Group Corp. DBA Mobile, 1214 Main Street, and Starbucks Corporation DBA Starbucks Coffee.
second,
Any, all those in favor, Joe?
aye,
Aye.
Aye.
All right, any public comment on these extended hours? Going once.
President,
Oh,
motion to close.
wait, she,
Yeah, I asked for the floor, but motion
Aye.
to close public hearing for victualling additional hours license. Castback LLC, DBA McDonald's, 12 Kingstown Road, Wyoming Donuts Inc., DBA Dunkin' Donuts, 1214 Main Street, Rich Donut, DBA Dunkin' Donuts, 26 Kingstown Road, Beaver River Donuts Inc., DBA Dunkin' Donuts, 418 Kingstown Road, Cumberland Farms Inc., DBA Cumberland Farms, number 1254, 1175 Main Street, Richmond Gas and Convenience Inc., Global Montello Group Corp., DBA Mobile, 1214 Main Street, and Starbucks Corporation, DBA Starbucks.
Second,
all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Go ahead.
Aye.
You wanna try the last one?
Mr.
No.
President,
Yes, good.
motion to approve the complete application for victualling additional hours license of Castback LLC, DBA McDonald's, 12 Kingstown Road, Wyoming Donuts Inc., DBA Dunkin' Donuts, 1214 Main Street, Rich Donuts Inc., DBA Dunkin' Donuts, 26 Kingstown Road, Beaver River Dunkin' Donuts Inc., DBA Dunkin' Donuts, 418 Kingstown Road, and Cumberland Farms Inc., DBA Cumberland Farms, 1254, 1175 Main Street.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 President,
President,
motion to approve the application for victualling additional hours license of Richmond Gas and Convenience Inc. Global Montello Group DBA Mobile, 1214 Main Street, subject to advertising fee.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
President, motion to approve the application for victualling additional hours license of Starbucks Corporation DBA Starbucks Coffee, subject to license fees.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. President, motion to open public hearing on application of Wallaloom Reservation Inc. DBA Wallaloom Campground located at 510 Gardner Road for seasonal recreational facility license.
second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. President, motion to close public hearing on application of Wallaloom Reservation DBA Wallaloom Campground located at 510 Gardner Road for seasonal recreational facility license.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. President, motion to approve the application of Wallaloom Reservation Incorporated DBA Walloon Campground located at 510 Gardner Road for seasonal recreational facility license.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
President, need to pull Jules Antiques General Store.
That one's later. That's number 10 for letters.
So.
Oh, my apologies.
That was easy.
Now moving on to item F, we have the consent agenda.
Can we vote on them separately? Because I have something for the.
Sure.
Yes, I would just do that too.
Yes, do I have a motion? I'm looking for a motion to approve the town council minutes, number 1, letter A.
President, I'd like to pull that for
Second for
Discussion.
discussion.
Okay, what is it that you'd like to change?
So I'd like to have added, and it was very important with this meeting, that President Trimmer asked the chief to remove me from the podium. And when Captain Colasanti got up to read the rest of my comments, she was only able to read part of the statement, prepared statement. That wasn't the whole statement.
Thought she read the whole thing.
Mr. President, I don't think we should include that because it's not our knowledge. That shouldn't be the whole thing. Like, we didn't know that in the moment.
I agree with that.
I do as well.
I could give you a copy of the statement.
Muted by accident, sorry. So, for those at home, so those minutes are reflective of actions that happen at a meeting. And so if we're gonna add additional statements, I think for transparency of the public, we should add, add the follow-up to those statements. Because if we're motioning on one item, and that's why when we started adding content, I was asking for specific motions. But when I went back to add those contents in, it did skew the minutes a little one way. So I think if that's the council's direction that they would like to add content, that, and by no means are minutes ever going to be verbatim, because
That's why we
they're
have
not
the video.
a transcriptionist, but I would caution the council that it does skew the written record in one way if we're not adding follow-up statements to certain statements. It doesn't happen in every case, but in certain cases, it does happen.
To me, the details are in the video. If we're gonna craft minutes to fit a certain narrative, I'm not for that. I'm comfortable with it.
Either, I just
Right.
think that we should be cautious on amending minutes if there's an incorrection, certainly, but adding statements on one end and not responding on another end can skew the
Yes.
written word a bit.
Right, and that's why I prefer to just leave it as it is. But that's me. We can vote on it. We can vote on it. You made a motion to make the changes.
Well, if we're,
Was there?
if as a group, we are going to go back to having the minutes reflect motions, and that any other discussion isn't put in later. If we're consistent about that, it's a consistency that I want.
Right. I personally think that we waste a lot of time every meeting adding specific statements to the minutes to craft a narrative, and I'm not for that.
Mr. President, if I may add something, it's not crafting the narrative, it's exactly what was said to me at the podium, and that was one of the most important statements that was made that night. So it's not crafting, a narrative, it's exactly what was said.
President,
Okay.
if we're gonna go back and forth about who said exactly what, then for Aaron to sit here and narrate the entire meeting, that's basically what it comes down to. If someone really needs to know, then they can go back to the video. But to single out individual opinions of what is super important or what is the most important, that's objective. That's objective by any person's opinion. So I think that it should be what motions have been made and only that. And then if there's more detail that somebody really wants to dive into, they can go back to Clerk Face, so they can go on YouTube and watch the video and see. But it just doesn't need to constant adding, because then it changes.
It
Everything.
becomes ponderous.
Correct.
So
Vote on it.
did you withdraw your motion, or did you?
I don't think I got a
left it up.
second on the
You
motion.
didn't get it.
Second,
Okay,
Ellen, can you remind me what your motion? I have a motion from Mike, second by Samantha to pull those minutes, but I don't have a motion.
The motion
Further.
was for us to be consistent across the board, so that in other meetings in the past, we have added in what people wanted added in. So if we are going to do that, we should need to
Point of
do it
order.
across the board.
The motion was to make the changes. That's what the motion was,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Right, that was the goal of it, was to be consistent across the board.
okay, so that being said, how do you vote? Make the
Aye.
change.
That is not, one motion was made and then other things were added to it. The original motion was to,
Was to separate the two, and then Mike made a motion to pull this to make additions to it. And that didn't get a second, and then we talked about it further, and then Helen made a motion to consider making the change. And then Mike seconded it.
The motion is not considered.
So that being said, you vote yes?
yes.
No,
no,
No, but Mr. President,
yes.
I would like to kindly make a edit because item K on the 6th page, it records Vice President Nazemi voting in favor of that, but he recused. It was about the executive session minutes that he was not a part of.
thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry, I have to go back to the previous motion. I recorded Mike as a no. I meant as a yes. Sam, Mark, and Rich as a no, Helen.
Yes.
Yes. And then, I'm sorry, your motion.
Sorry, a motion to amend page 6, item K, with a motion to approve executive session minutes. Vice President Nazemi is recorded as in favor, yes, but he recused.
It's fine, no?
Would I have second?
Second,
All those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
All right, moving on to Consent agenda number 2.
Motion to approve consent agenda number 2.
Second.
All this, any discussion? I thought you had said you had a discussion on payment of that.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, all those.
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
You moved. Karen, your report, please.
Just a few updates, no motions requested at this time. Just wanted to update you on the roundabout. DOT has advised that the new warning was chlorinated, it passed the quality test on October 26th. The remaining utility work will be completed just around the end of the year. They wanted us to know that they're not going to start any pavement removal or installation prior to the end of the season. They don't want to partially complete roundabout during the winter for potential safety hazard during plowing. No situation. Just another update on the small business grant. I do want to thank the EDC for supplementing our efforts to get the word out. 18 businesses applied. Many of them are home-based businesses. Most applied for the entire $5,000. They're looking to purchase things like windows, doors, tents, chairs, display equipment, tools, computer software, signs, camera equipment, kitchen equipment, things like that. Right now, we're scheduled to meet on the 20th to discuss those applications, but there's some discussion of moving that up sooner. Also, just I don't know how many people were able to get to the dog park grand opening, but it was a huge success. The park is still a work in progress. There's a few things that still need to be done. There's still some money left in the grant, so I know the dog park committee is working on a few more items for that. But it is being used and enjoyed by a lot of residents from in town and outside of our town.
People had showed up on Saturday, they would have watched me get knocked on my butt. I had a dog that caught me from behind at about 30 miles an hour.
Not your own?
No, this dog was big.
Oh. And then lastly, an update on staff. You're all aware that Ann Galuska is retiring on December 31st. We did post her position with the applications being due on the 10th. So we're hoping to have a recommendation to council by the first December meeting. You also know Scott Barber is retiring February 1st. He does have a lot of vacation time to use, so one of the superintendents, Gary Robar, will get kind of an opportunity to fill Scott's shoes and see if he wants to apply for the permanent position. I'll be posting that around November 30th based on a timeline. You know, I don't want to post it too soon because we can't fill it. Obviously, even if Scott's not here, we're paying him out in vacation. We can't fill the position. Yeah, we can't be paying 2 people for the same thing at the same time. So I'm hoping to have Scott help me with those interviews, and he is the expert in that field. And lastly, I just got word this afternoon that one of our truck driver laborers is going to be leaving us, and so I'll be posting that.
Who?
I don't know if that's
Okay.
that.
Okay.
We'll have his resignation.
All right, thank you, Karen.
Yes, Karen.
Chief.
Hey, everybody, how are you?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm going a long way around because I don't want to set off the rooster again. So I have 3 things. This is just the cutest face I've seen in a while. I have no offense, but really horrible. I want to start off with awards. Aaron, if you could bring up those photos. I nominated Sergeant William Laterio for the DUI Achievement Pin. Mothers Against Drunk Drivers holds an annual awards event, and Bill Laterio, Life Bar, hands down, has led our department in DUI enforcement for the better part of 10 years. All the other officers are doing a great job. It's just a niche he has, and it's a commitment as to public safety. I think back, and this is kind of why it's so important. DUIs result in tragedies. November of 2013, there was a fatal on Hillsdale Road. And it was a 20-year-old kid killed by his best friend, driving drunk. Pulled the car over, he got ejected, was crushed. That family is never going to be the same. The driver of that vehicle will never be the same. Forever impacts, alters lives. So he deserves this recognition. UI achievement pin. It was a crowd of about 250 people at Crown Plaza last Friday. The other officer that was recognized was SRO Brock Taylor. Brock's been working in the school for the better part of 5 years at Charo. 3,000 people on campus. Have you ever tried to talk to even a quarter of that amount of people? You're the only police officer, or thanks to Charlestown, the second police officer there, but your primary jurisdictional responsibility is the school. Just a great community policing model. Brock nailed it. He engaged the youth. He forged positive, lasting relationships with students and staff. Countless mediations, conflict resolution. Playing with the kids during recess, looking for an isolated kid or a student at lunch, he'd sit down and talk to him. Now, maybe you think that puts a target on him because he's talking to a police officer, but Brock really commingled with the population there. They liked him. He was well respected, and he respected them. So he got that award as well. Aaron, if you have that photo.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, that little Bell Schoolhouse is very attractive, but I'm gonna give Brock some screen time. So it was great. Brock was there. His wife, who was pregnant, about to give birth to their first child, was there with us, along with his family. He got the recognition, the only SRO in the entire state to be recognized.
Wow.
So I think it's a huge accomplishment and well deserved. None of these things are achieved in one day. A DUI arrest just one, easily 2.5, 3 hours. Multiply that times 20. And then the follow-up in court down the road. There's a lot to it. And just great work by those officers.
Excellent.
Thank you. The second thing I wanted to share with you, this happens in every community, and these scams tend to resurface. There's the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes scam, where you'll be solicited either by phone, email, not usually written correspondence, usually it's a phone call. They catch you cold. It's retired population they're targeting, people who are trusting, and usually home to answer the phone. They said he had won a prize of nearly $1 million, but he had to pay taxes on that up front. So they convinced him to go to the bank, get a money order, send it to an address in Florida, which was, after our detective investigated, was a vacant house with a mailbox up front. And took him to the tune of $19,500. First installment was $9,500. I think the second was $10,000. They wanted more. At this point, he became wise to what was going on. And oftentimes the victims are embarrassed. This was an accomplished person. You just don't know until you get confronted and you're in your home and you have a voice that sounds convincing and trustworthy. And it's painful because it's very hard to identify these perpetrators. They're under alias names, they use bogus addresses that they can swoop in, get the check out of the box and be gone. So just be aware of that. No one who is winning anything has to pay in advance of getting that thing. Taxes are paid after you get income, not in advance of. Just call the police department. You're not going to bother us. We'll look into it. We'll look at the phone number. We'll look at the names and see if they're legit. The last thing, consideration for stop signs at Hillsdale Road and Tug Hollow Road, where DPW is doing the repaving up there. Think about this, that roadway configuration, elevation changes. I met with Chief Barber out there, and I concurred with his recommendation that we install stop signs. The idea isn't to create a series of stop signs up Hillsdale Road. The road's 4 miles long. There's one at the end by 138. This is the opposite end of the road, where it intersects with Tug Hollow, right near a nursery school. This would be for advertisement, public hearing. I'll gather data with our speed trail and now the road's been improved. So we'll have some data to consider.
President, motion to approve the stop sign request for Hillsdale Road, Tug Hollow.
I'm sorry, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
According to the code, you can't advertise an ordinance and pass it and have the public hearing on the same night. You have to introduce the ordinance first and schedule the public hearing and then do it at a subsequent meeting.
Okay.
And I didn't know about this in advance, so I didn't draft anything.
Okay.
If you want to put it on your next meeting agenda, to look at the draft and vote to have it advertised. That would be the way to do it,
So basically ask you to draft the
right?
resolution.
And as the town clerk to put it on the agenda for the next meeting.
Aaron, would you kindly put that onto the next agenda? And Aaron, would you kindly write a resolution?
Yes,
Yeah, I think we have to make a motion. and vote on it.
Second.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Hi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
sir. Congratulations to Bill.
Okay, next we have item I, which is appointments and resignations. So,
Mr. President,
yes,
motion to approve renewal application of Gary Kowalewski, Pamela Rowland, Julie Lusner, Daniel Fitzgerald, Thea Brennan, Dr. Robert W. Harrison Jr.
Second.
any discussion? All of in favor?
I
Aye.
I apologize if I butchered anyone's last name.
Back to licenses again.
Right where you picked up.
Right words. Mr. President, I'd like to kindly pull Jules Antiques and General Store, Richmond Market, which is down at the very bottom, and Pascal Farm and Garden, please.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, Mr. President, or do you want to read it?
All right, yes.
Thanks.
Mr. President, motion to approve the complete application renewals for holiday license for the following. Beaver River Tree Farm, Charahoe Furniture, Inc., Mandalay Properties LLC, DBA Fetch, Rhode Island, Hope Bait and Tackle, Inc., Wyoming Hard Goods, Inc., Morgan's Wood Shop, Inc., Ocean State Job Lot Stores of Rhode Island, Inc., Shoreline Auto Sales LLC, Stop and Shop Supermarket Company, Robin LaRue, DBA Growing Crazy, Walgreens, May Lumen Salon, Wood River Stagecoach Inn, Richmond Country Club, Beaver River Golf Club, CVS Pharmacy number 8320, Wallaloom Reservation Inc., Meadowbrook Golf Course, Dollar General, Dragon Palace, and Mobile Global Monticello Group.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, Mr. President. Motion to approve the complete application of holiday license for the following: Jules Antiques and General Store and Pascal Farm and Garden.
Second.
And Richmond and Market.
Oh, and Richmond Lane.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Recuse.
Aye.
Mr. President, motion to approve the approval of application renewal of Cello LLC DBA Richmond Wine and Liquors for holiday license subject to payment of license fees.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr.
Mr.
President.
President. Aye.
You go ahead.
Yeah. Motion to approve the application renewals for a holiday license subject to payment of taxes
Second.
for.
Sorry.
I know that wasn't your space. Preserve Management Co. LLC, the O Spa, Preserve Range Management Co. LLC, the Sporting Shop, Preserve Management Co. LLC, Clubhouse, and Preserve Property Management Co. LLC, White Birch.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
President, move to approve the complete application renewals for virtual licenses for the following: Stop and Shop Supermarket, 729 Pinecrest Golf Course Incorporated, Al Coast LLC, DBA Town Pizza 2, Beaver River Donuts, DBA Dunkin' Donuts, Rich Donuts, DBA Dunkin' Donuts, Wyoming Donuts, DBA Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's Restaurant, Lickety Splits Incorporated, Dragon Palace Inc., Washington County, Omana Garage, Cumberland Farms Incorporated, Young Lao Incorporated, DBA Valley Village, Richmond Country Club Incorporated, Meadowbrook Properties LLC, DBA Meadowbrook Golf Course, Wallaloom Reservation Incorporated, DBA Wallaloom Campground, Higher Grounds, Richmond Market, Dell's AC Lemonade, Celebrated Mobile Global Montello Group, Pasquale's Farm, and Garden Center in Subway.
Okay, I guess we have to,
So we just read it and I'll recuse.
okay,
Second.
okay, how do you vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Recuse. Mr. President, motion to approve the following application for renewals for a victualling license, subject to payment of license fees. Elena's Coffee House and Block and Roll, Elena's Ale House, Wood River Bar and Grill, Richmond Smoke, Filippo's Twisted Pizza, and Starbucks Coffee.
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. President,
Mm-hmm.
motion to approve the following application renewals for a victualling license, subject to payment of taxes. The Preserve White Birch Cafe and the Preserve Double Barrel.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
all right.
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. President, motion to approve the complete application, Walloon Reservation Incorporated DBA Walloon Campground, located at 510 Gardner Road for table games license.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Mr. President, motion to approve the complete application of Jules Antiques and General Store, the secondhand dealer license.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Recuse.
Aye. Mr. President. Motion to approve the application of Richmond Smoke located at 1219 Main Street for an indoor entertainment license, subject to payment of licensing fee.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 I do appreciate how this was done up. It just makes things so much
Like to
easier.
thank Kendra for. all
Thank you,
her
Kendra.
job.
Thank you,
Like,
Kendra.
it's easy. You did a great
Good
job.
job.
Yeah, you did a good job, guys. Thank you very much.
Back. New business. New business, a request of Councilor Wilcox for discussion and consideration of live streaming and recording commission meetings. Can you detail that?
Yeah, so having attended all of the boards and commissions, it's something that's come up here and there, so it's something I figured we could talk about. It took a little longer to get on the agenda than I hoped, because I just wanted to get more information on how it's run, how much of a time constraint that would be for staff, et cetera, how much it would cost, and how much need there would be. So it's something that I was thinking of kind of starting as a pilot with a couple of boards and commissions, some that don't really meet frequently and some that do.
Mhm.
What they would need is an employee there, to run the license. They would need, the Zoom license and YouTube license. But what I'm kind of thinking is, instead of paying for a YouTube license for each individual board or commission, kind of seeing if we can have a more of a miscellaneous. Sorry, I got distracted with chatter. More of like a miscellaneous boards and commissions as an opportunity.
Are we able to spread the license like that, or?
So no, so currently we pay for licensing for town council, planning and zoning. And each board has an associated Zoom account and a YouTube account. We also have clerk base that you're well aware of that assists those boards. And so we do not, our current agreement with clerk base and YouTube live streaming, that clerk base manages for us. We don't have any additional licensing with our current agreement.
Mhm.
So it would be an additional cost to add any other board to those onboarding for live streaming directly to YouTube. Now, there would be no clerk-based component. Let me retract that. We could have a clerk-based component, however, that would be more expensive because clerk-based provides a sort of supportive linking of materials. And so, there would be the additional cost for the Zoom license, the clerk base, and the live streaming.
So-
If you just wanted to live stream, you would need a separate license for Zoom and YouTube to live stream, but there would be no supportive materials linked.
Now, the town, Mr. President, town council can't, the question, town council, can it demand that the other boards and commissions do it, or is it up to each individual board and commission if they want to do it?
I think that it is probably a good practice for anything that we're dealing with legal things, but I'm not sure. Karen, can the town council require it, or is it?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of policy. you could establish a policy that you want to do that, but you would have to figure out how much it would cost, so you could add it to the budget for the next fiscal year.
Aaron,
I think that the primary consideration would be financial.
Mr. President.
So
Yes.
did I
What is
hear
the-
you say that
Okay.
we are already live streaming?
Okay.
President, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Aaron, you said what kind of cost?
So,
I have.
That's
it.
a
so clerk base, I believe is what, 4,500 for,
year.
I wasn't aware that we'd have to use clerk base.
we don't have to
Okay,
use.
so I don't
I'm
have
just-
that number. in
No,
front of me.
so clerk base, the onboarding package for the 3 entities we have now, please, I think it's about 4,500.
Okay.
So
So that's all
each
three.
did, so we'd have to have clerk base requote that, which I have not done. We did have our uplink, our IT provider, quote the additional YouTube streaming and license, which I think Samantha should
Yeah.
have.
The YouTube you said was a one-time fee of $464, and
Sure.
then Zoom, which is used by a lot of our employees anyway. So I was thinking of starting with boards and commissions that had employees at it. That's $149. But I think of things like the Board of Canvassers, the Tax Assessor Board of Review, the Finance Board, and the EDC that all already have employees there. So
How much
we
is the
save there.
YouTube again? I'm sorry.
sorry, YouTube was $464 and it was a one-time fee, so it's not, it's like a setup fee.
You, Mr. President, do you have staff to do that?
That's the other, yeah.
No, so I have staff that, like Samantha said, we do have boards that are staffed, so, if you're asking. So, yes, so Board of Canvassers is staffed by a town employee, myself, in the elections part. The EDC, is typically attended by the town planner, not necessarily, I don't know if that's her requirement, but yes, that's typically staffed. Finance board is staffed.
With 2 people who would have to learn how to use this.
Correct.
So Erin, the town planner, and if she's at the EDC meeting, can run the cameras and whatnot.
She can run the system, however, we would need a YouTube account for EDC board.
Helen, you had a question earlier?
These were the questions I was going to ask, so thank you.
So if the commissions where town is staffed, that would only require, now I just want so that the public is fully aware and the council is fully aware. There'd be no supportive backup clerk base, no linking of agendas, no anything like that. It would be streamed through Zoom live to YouTube and you could watch only and not participate in it. And that would be the one-time setup fee of the $400 or whatever, Samantha, I'm sorry.
464.
$464 to set up per board. That is how YouTube is set up, is it's live streaming when anybody searches it, Richmond Town Council. Now, it wouldn't require an additional Zoom account because the town does have Zoom accounts. I would caution the council in creating a recording of boards for a few reasons, and I did discuss this with Councilor Wilcox, of boards that are not staffed. For one, we're a lean town staff. So we do have several boards that meet several evenings a week. And so my office could not support additional roles in that capacity. And the upstairs is even more limited staff. So that's would be number one concern. The other concern is meetings would be limited to this room only. And then my largest concern is that the boards that are not staffed with employees would need their own Zoom account that's restrictive to that board. And there is a lot of responsibility that comes with that. And so I'm not sure that we would want to put that on our volunteer committees. So those would be my concerns.
Yeah, Mr. President, maybe what we can do is just shoot out a letter questionnaire and just specifically tell them what their responsibilities will be, what they have to entail, to do this, and then what the cost of the town is, because I did a little bit of digging, and I know the EDC you know what I mean, isn't interested in it, and then I've got over here the Richmond Rural Preservation Trust. They discussed this at one of their meetings, and they said after a brief discussion, all agreed not to record meetings. So there has been talk with some of the boards and commissions, and it seems like most of the discussion has been. So.
Yes.
Does each commission have required to make minutes of their meetings and send them into you? Do you take those and disperse them? What is their availability to the public or into us?
So,
Does it get put into like we get our packet and communications and all that stuff? Is it going there?
no, so approved minutes of other boards are, under the open meetings law are required, and it changes if they're in advisory capacity or they're just supportive capacity, what the timeline is, so I don't wanna go into the nitty gritty. But most boards post, certainly they have to file all their minutes with my office once they're approved. And there's a different timeline of draft minutes based on what your status is, so I don't really wanna go in. So they're always available in the vault, and my office does do reminders to boards that say, hey, you need to file your minutes, so they're available. Most boards, and not all of them are required to do so, post on the Secretary of State's website, and so their minutes are available there. But that only started being a requirement since 2019, but we have historically minutes of all boards in the vault where the public can obtain them, and they're not digitally, not all boards are digitally available.
Does the EDC post their minutes?
They have recently started posting their minutes on
right.
Secretary of State, but they are also at
Oh, they going? I didn't know they went on the Secretary of State.
I have to double check that, but
Yeah.
I believe that has started.
Mr. President.
President,
Sure, you and then you.
okay, go ahead.
The reason I brought it up was I know that people can't view it, but it was more for just public engagement and another way for people to view it if they can't be here in person all the time, or if they just have trouble getting here. I think it could be useful, depending again, if it's something. The YouTube fee scares me. So I was kind of hoping, because the Board of Canvassers, tax assessor board and the finance board don't meet frequently, I wouldn't want to give them each their own YouTube license,
Right.
but I was hoping that it would be possible to at least throw them all on the same YouTube license, and then it would make sense, and then throw the EDC on there as well. But it was the idea just really came from people who can view it and or can see from home, especially, I don't know, just any interested party.
Right, I mean, I think it's a good idea, but I think it's cost prohibitive at this point, both in personnel and in funds. But
Mr. President, what meetings or commissions are on Zoom now?
So town council,
Yeah.
planning, and zoning.
Okay,
basically the boards that deal with legal issues.
Correct, all public hearings are now gonna be required to have that component anyway, starting January 1, but Richmond is definitely ahead of the curve, and we've definitely got accolades about the transparency of having that remote component for the boards that are decision-making boards. And it is not, well, it's going to be a requirement on the January 1, Karen, is that now?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
Thank you.
did you want to pursue it further, or did you want to?
Maybe in the new year or something, we're talking about budgeting, we'll see, but not this,
Or maybe just,
the motion to table.
yeah, motion. I'd second that.
Okay, all those in favor of table?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi, thanks for the discussion.
Okay, moving on to, thank you. Moving on to the request for Councilor Colasanti for the discussion and consideration of reducing the $2.5 million bond approved for the voters at the 2022 financial town meeting in the amount of municipal road and bridge grant received from the state of Rhode Island. So I just wanted to preface this with, I believe that it wasn't a $2.5 million bond, it was up to a $2.5 million bond. So given the fact that we have the grant that you helped us to find, that we would probably not go to the 2.5. That would be my assumption, because it said that was it. We approved to borrow up to 2.5, not. But we did not approve to borrow specifically 2.5 million. But go ahead.
Well, it was, my understanding, it was 2.5, this would be voters approved. But with that being said, there's definitely a need to repair the roads in town, as we all know. And I want to propose a way to ease the burden to our weary taxpayers. Because the bond rate now that we're going to be going out after we voted for this in 2022, the bond rating was very low. It was like under 2%. Just like if you went and bought a car back in 2022, 2021, you could have gotten like maybe 2 or 3% interest. Now you're looking at 8% interest. So the bond rates have jumped considerably. So with the bond rate in 2022 is much lower than it is now. To make up the difference in the higher interest rate, we can use the windfall of the road grant to save the taxpayers money. We can go out to bond for say 2.5, 2.1 million and use the road grants to fill the gap in of the 2.5 million. And that would be actually more in line with what the voters voted for in 2022, taking into consideration what the bond rate was in 2022. So that was a great windfall for the town. So we can save a lot of money if we do that. If we can apply that money to that to the idea of the bond that we went out and voted at 2.5 million. So my motion is not to bond for 2.5 million, to bond no more than 2.1 million, and use the road grants to fill the gap.
Second.
Okay.
Isn't that what the finance director already said she was gonna do?
Yeah.
No, it's kind of vague.
Wow.
Just my suggestion, you might wanna wait until she's present and you can discuss it with her before you vote on it.
That's what I was gonna suggest.
I think she's out for medical. You might just wanna wait until she gets back.
Yeah, because when I asked her what the bond rate was, she had no idea what the bond rate was. I mean, she couldn't even give us a, an idea, an idea of what the range was of the bond, what the percentage would be. So with that being said, when I noticed that she wasn't here, I was thinking the same thing. So let's put this on the agenda, Aaron, for the next council meeting. I rescind my motion.
Would you like to make a motion to put it on for the next?
Make a motion to put it on.
Make a
for the
motion
next-
when she
The next meeting.
here.
She's here, yeah.
Okay, so
Was that a second?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
okay, all those in favor of putting it on the next meeting, that on the agenda for the next meeting, that yes.
I'm just gonna vote no, just because I feel like we already discussed it at length. So I don't know why we want to just like keep bringing things up that we've already voted on. I don't know, I just feel like it was already discussed. That's all.
Sure. Mr. President, the town, the financial director's already has a plan in place, and she absolutely knows what the bond rate is. She's not gonna say, no, I don't know what it is, let's just go for it anyway. She doesn't work in that capacity. She knows what she's talking about. And I'm not gonna discuss anything until she's present. 100%
That's why we want to put it on the next meeting.
when she's here.
Right.
Okay, so that being said, how do you vote?
I,
Aye.
No.
We're moving on to the next agenda item, and this is another item that we've already discussed. A request from Councilor Colasanti for discussion of the generator bid approved October 3rd, 2023. And I wanted to comment that Mike had provided a estimate for a generator here. I do not believe this estimate includes the site work, which was part of the cost of the generator. And that's why it's much lower than the site, the generator estimate that we got that actually includes not only the commodity of the generator, but the site work as well.
When I approached this company just for the heck of it, just to see if we could get it cheaper, the specs were sent to them and they bid it on to the specs that were advertised here. And I didn't tell them that we had already gotten a quote because I wanted to do it as clearly as possible. That's why it's in my name, I didn't say the town. I gave them the specs and this is what they came up with. And this is why I wanted to hold off for a couple of weeks, because again, to save the taxpayers money. Unfortunately, we're the second highest burden tax town in the state, and it's always my idea to try and save the taxpayers money. Because we've had plenty of people stand up at the podium, practically in tears, saying how hard it is for them to pay their taxes. So with that being said, I thought it was kind of high. And I just requested that we hold off for a few weeks because it wasn't an emergency. Not being an emergency, I said, okay, let's see if we can get a cheaper bid.
So Mike, I'd just like to interrupt you and clarify. You got a bid for a commodity generator. The bid that we got for the town, which was how much?
98,000.
98,000, was not only for the commodity, but for the extensive site work to run the conduit from the pad, through the pad, under the ground, into the.
Rewire the entire building.
Correct. And this estimate doesn't include that site work, which is why it's less money than 90 some odd $1,000.
Well,
So
again,
it's not apples to apples, it's apples to pears. And
well, we had actually talked to somebody and asked them if that extra work needed to be done. They probably would have said no. That's why I wanted it to be discussed. And, you know, for another couple of weeks to get to the better price. But anyway, I got a price of 73,000, which was 25,000 cheaper.
Karen, I just wanted to get Karen's input first.
The electrical inspector told us what we need.
Right.
Our electrical inspector told us what we needed.
These are the specs that I gave this company.
But they
This is
don't
the price.
include the installation.
Yes, it does.
Oh, the site work. I don't see it listed on it.
It includes everything.
The point is that if we want to save our taxpayers any money, we don't even entertain this because the contractor that was awarded the bid would turn around in a heartbeat and sue the town for breach of contract.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Mr. President. I'm really
And
concerned with
cost
this
yourself
because
hundreds of
Okay,
thousands.
before we go any further,
The point is that our bid went out in the way that we've discussed this at length already. The bid went out, the people who bid on municipal jobs saw the bid. Then put out what they did, they got the specs, they put their number out. Anybody else that came late to the party is late to the party. That's not our fault. And the fact that something happened, I want to say behind closed doors or after the fact, is completely irrelevant. It can't be done. That is not the way that municipal government runs. You run the risk of getting yourself sued.
absolutely. And I wanted to, again, show Mr. Councilor Colasanti. It says connect to and utilize existing feeders. Your and our electrical inspector specified that we needed to pull all new conduit and all new feeders. These conduits are 3 and 4 inches around. That is what the additional 20 some odd $1,000 is for. And it states it right here on the document that wasn't provided with a hyperlink.
Well,
to the agenda
again, see, there's some question marks here. And to get into the nefarious ideas of talking to somebody behind the scenes, I take great, concerns that, you think like that,
But-
that's insane. But anyway, that's why I said it wasn't an emergency. And we could have discussed this for another 2 weeks, and we probably could have saved the town some money. And that's the way the public sector works. That's why we're the second highest property burden tax town in the state, and that can't
That's
be.
not what's on the agenda.
Well,
Okay,
it
so
goes with saving the town money.
Don. So we have a motion we had this brought up to discuss. The quotes are apples to oranges on something that was approved over 1 month ago. So I'm looking for some sort of motion here or some sort of resolution.
You don't want a motion because a motion would be out of order.
Right,
According to Robert's rules, if a body has voted to award a bid or accept a contract and action has been taken on it, any kind of vote to rescind that previous vote would be out of order.
okay, thank you. I wasn't looking for a motion to approve this. I was looking for a motion to move on.
Well, Mr. President, I just want to make one I can't understand why there's so much resistance to my colleagues with the idea of trying to save the taxpayers of this town
Okay.
money. I don't understand it.
Mr. President.
We're done talking about it, please.
Mr. President.
I'd like to,
I've been asking for.
go ahead. Please limit it.
Just to clarify, I want to save the taxpayers money as well, and I want to do so legally, and I don't want the town to be sued over it. We have a bid process, that process was followed, and I really think that everybody should sign up for Notify Me and be aware of what's happening in town. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, the solicitor did say, Mr. President, that we could have gone out to bid again by just changing the.
No, that's not.
She didn't say that.
What,
No,
excuse me,
that's not.
Karen, you said we could go out to bid.
No, I did not.
At this point, like I said, for the 5th time, we're done talking about it and we're going to move on. Now here, this must be part of the reset. Item number 4 is a request of Councilor Colasanti for discussion of the town solicitor charges for the OMA complaints of Councilor Wilcox and Attorney Mark Reynolds.
Right, Mr. President, we did get the rulings back from the Attorney General's office. And the Attorney General's office did say there was no OMA violations that Councilwoman Samantha Wilcox sent to the Attorney General's office, and Attorney Mark Reynolds sent to the Attorney General's office. And they both were denied, and there was no OMA violation. So I'd like to know how much it cost the town.
I think it was Mr. Pulio who made that request for that information for the first complaint, and I don't have the figure with me because my computer crashed, but I think it was about $1,500. And the second one was $2,052.
That was for the Attorney Mark Reynolds OMA complaints that weren't founded. Okay, thank you.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Anybody who would like to view the complaint themselves can do so on Clerk Space. The AG's office has their own. Although no violations were found, I don't think that it was unwarranted. I don't think that it was at all, but I do agree with their decision, of course. But further, I would just like to thank both Ms. Sheehan and Mr. Trimmer for being able to not hold a grudge and move past it. I feel like the two of you I have a good cordial relationship with. So thank you both.
Well, excuse me, Mr. President, the only reason why I brought this up is because Council Wilcox wanted to know how much the fee was for Attorney Joe Larissa. So what's good for you is not good for somebody else.
Okay, Mr.
So
President.
is there any purpose other than
No.
public chastisement?
No, there is.
Is there any further purpose of this?
It's not public. You're saying that. Those are your words.
Mr. President, one more thing.
Yeah, obvious.
Including this agenda, every agenda we get appropriation of payment and bills. If there was a question about the invoice, I feel like it should have been made at that time. That's what I did with Attorney Larissa. When I saw the invoice, I had a question. These were paid in February by unanimous.
Okay. I'd like to move on to the next item, item number 5. Looks like it's actually a financial item, a request of Councilor Colasanti for a discussion of the accounting for the Beaver River Solar Project.
Well, the finance director isn't here, so I would like to put this on the agenda for when she is back. We'll have a better grasp.
So you're making a motion to do that?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Second it.
All right, how do you vote?
Aye.
Discussion.
Oh,
Yeah,
discussion.
I was prepared to discuss it today, just because of the quote that was in the materials there. How it was said that the services are spent, or the money was spent around town. And the quote was misquoted. What was said was typically those revenues are accounted for in the budget process to be spent on whatever other town services, which I understand can lean that way. I see it. But I also feel like this is something that could be handled through an APRA request, an Access to Public Records Act request. So it's not necessarily necessary for council discussion. What I'd like to recommend be done is to ask for it via an ARPA request. And if you see something you'd like to discuss, bring it up.
Be specific.
No, that's totally
Yeah, so,
different from my,
hold on,
Discussion.
we have a motion on the floor. So how do you vote?
Well, to put it off till next time.
Right.
Yeah, aye.
No,
No.
No. Mr. President,
yes,
motion to file communications.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, we have public forum now. So anyone is invited to come up and speak. Please identify your name and your address and try and keep it to 3 minutes.
Chris Kona, Richmond, Rhode Island. I came across a portion of Paul Ryan, the former Speaker of the House's address as he left the House in December 2018. And I think there's a fair amount of rebel feel is connected to the discussion that we're having today and that we've had in this room for the last few months. So Paul Ryan said, we have a good sense of what a politics should look like, a great clash of ideas, a civil, passionate discourse through which we debate and resolve our differences. Our system of government doesn't just allow for that. Our system depends on it. One side may win and one may lose, but we dust ourselves off and we start anew, knowing each one fought in pursuit of their honest ideals. But today, too often, genuine disagreement quickly gives way to intense distrust. We spend far more time trying to convict one another than we do developing our own convictions. Being against someone has more currency than being for anything. Each of us has found ourselves operating the wrong side of this equation from time to time. All this gets amplified by technology, whether incentive structure that preys on people's fears and algorithms that play on anger. Outrage is a brand, and with anything that gets marketed, it gets scaled up. The more industrialized, the more cold, and the more unfeeling. That's the thing. For all the noise, there's actually less passion, less energy. We default to lazy litmus tests and shop-worn denunciations. It's just an emotional pablum fed through a trough of outrage. It's exhausting. It saps meaning from our politics and discourages good people from pursuing public service. The symptoms of it are in our face all the time, and we have to recognize that its roots run deep in our society and our culture today. All that pulls on the thread of our common humanity and what could be our unraveling. But nothing says it has to be this way. We all struggle. We're all fighting some battle in our lives. So why do we insist on fighting one another so bitterly? This kind of politics starts from a place of outrage and seeks to tear us down from there. So how do we get back to aspiration and inclusion, where we start with humility and seek to build on that? I don't know the answer to that. What I offer today is something to keep in mind as we all try to navigate through this moment. Our culture is meant to be shaped not by our political institutions, but by mediating institutions of civil society, of the community. Our problems are solvable if our politics will allow it. I know it. I have seen it. In a confident America, we don't shrug our shoulders and pass the buck. We roll up our sleeves and get on with our work. A confident America leads the world too, not with bluster, but with steady, principled action. So where does Ryan's address lead us today? The council had these issues. Decisive drama intended to distract the council and the voters from real governance. You face the tactics of the leaders of forgotten taxpayers who intentionally try to create discord and chaos to cause the government to fail. But you've shown the ability to get past it in the last few months. You've instituted business grants. You've opened up new recreational areas for our townspeople. Tuck Hollow Road is getting fixed. I just saw the new sign out on Gardner, the stop sign on Gardner. Our roads are getting safer. You've established policies that provide for expanded business opportunities while maintaining the water protection and the health of the Richmond constituents. And most importantly, you've taken a very positive shift to condemn corrupt practices in the last few months and sticking to fair and equitable practices in personnel and acquisition. Keep that up. It won't be easy. We know there's a lot of pressure on you from those that want to see you fail for their personal gain. You're on the right path. Governance doesn't come from publicity stunts. It comes from rational discussion about policies to help all Richmond citizens.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Sir,
Pete Burton, Richmond, Rhode Island. I have to follow Paul Ryan's words, so sorry, it's not gonna be as good, but anyway. Several years ago, I was working on a difficult project that required buy-in from several other members of the company. A colleague of mine, who became a mentor to me in controls engineering, as well as a personal friend, summarized his philosophy for problem solving with others by stating, disagreement is not conflict. Disagreement is a natural process that allows parties to share ideas while coalescing around a solution. Conflict is a solution killer. I think often of Scott's words while watching these meetings. And I'm speaking here tonight to thank the members of the council who comport themselves as if they already understand this. When conflict rears its ugly head, you must sit here patiently listening. The audience can check their Instagram feeds, and those watching on Zoom can pour themselves another drink. I'm impressed with your ability to handle what looks like a very frustrating experience. Not long ago, this council was discussing whether or not to accept grant money from the state for funding of programs at Chariho. One councilor, initially opposed to the idea, asked some pointed questions and then very publicly changed their opposition, and the council voted 4-1 to accept the grant money. Clear win for Richmond students. For a councilor who often chooses to lead with conflict, my question is, why? Don't you see that it isn't working? Don't you know enough about business to realize that this conflict is poison to economic development in this town? We'll never know what business opportunities have already been scared off by this unproductive vitriol. Disagreement can be a path to understandings and solutions. Conflict is a loser.
anyone else?
Hi, everybody, Jess Purcell. Almost a year to this date, this current council won their seats in the election. It's a big feat to do that. I was very happy to congratulate Samantha Wilcox, who I worked very closely with, and who became involved as a volunteer dog park committee and the Conservation Commission. And she ran a successful campaign of door knocking and community outreach. So after I congratulated her, I offered some unsolicited advice. I told her to get a therapist. I knew she was entering a new role of increased public scrutiny where disagreement can lead to dramatic division. While I don't intend to rehash what happened in January, if you know, you know, I want to discuss what happened after the Rhode Island Supreme Court ruled in my favor, which is that I was congratulated, but no one apologized to me. Don't get me wrong. This is not a call for an apology. An apology is an act of accountability, a way of saying that you understand that your actions affect other people. There is one counselor who has said, "I'm sorry" more than any other, and that is Samantha Wilcox. Sam has apologized during multiple meetings for things like asking questions or attempting to find solutions to problems. She has apologized to Mrs. Colasanti, who thought that a social media post made by Sam was about her husband, even though he wasn't named in the post. Sam apologized for the misunderstanding, deleted the post, and assumed that they moved forward. Months later, Sam is being targeted with public allegations that she called Mr. Colasanti a sexist and misogynist. Sam has shown consistent strength in asking her fellow counselors to observe rules and maintain order. Taking notes and adhering to rules are admirable traits in a town councilor. As the only registered Democrat on council, some might assume that Sam would stand alone on many votes. But aside from the enabling legislation that aimed to cut taxes for homeowners at the preserve, this has not occurred often. Many of the decisions made for the good of the town are not partisan in nature. There have been several items of interest to me, like hiring a human services director, funding the Wyoming corridor study, the small business grant program, and adding cannabis retail to our ordinances. These items required lengthy discussion, an open mind to learning, and an understanding of what might help our town and its residents. In the end, they passed, and I'm grateful for the opportunities they provide. Thank you for your time tonight. I don't always attend in person, but I'm always watching. I watch every meeting, and I believe each of you and each of us bring our unique experiences and skill sets to the table. The best way to create a positive future in Richmond is not to kick people under the table, not to elbow them away, not to flip the table, but to build a bigger table. And I'd like to just add, I came in as you were moving public forum. I don't know why you did, but I'm just thinking of this person here who had a young child with him who probably wanted to say something and had to sit through a lot of procedure, important stuff, but I assume if he came with his daughter that he was here to say something and he didn't get to say something. So I don't think moving public forum was the best idea, and I don't really want to see it happen again. Thanks.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else? Anyone online?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.